Hey everyone, before we dive in, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a new story. What's up, fam? Buckle up, because today we've got a wild ride straight from the cosmos of relationship drama, coming at you from our channel. You've spent years building a life with someone. You trusted them completely. Then, out of nowhere, the line between just chatting with a buddy and secret late-night texts you'd never want your spouse to see gets completely erased. Today's story? The coffee wasn't just steaming, it was radioactive. Story number 1. My wife went on a blind date, even though I told her I wasn't okay with it. I filed for divorce, and now she's desperately begging me to take her back. I'm 37, a guy who's been married to my soon-to-be ex for 5 years. We dated for 2 before that. We met through friends back when I was grinding crazy hours and barely scraping by. Somehow we just worked and we stuck. Our marriage wasn't perfect, but it wasn't broken either. I always knew she loved attention, but she never crossed any real lines. She had tons of work friends, gym friends, the whole crew. I never tried to control that. I trusted her. Then about a month ago, she casually mentions this new coworker, Megan, who's been trying to set her up with one of her single guy friends. My wife thought it was hilarious. Megan didn't even know she was married. I laughed along, but something in her voice bugged me. It wasn't the story, it was the little sparkle, like she enjoyed the idea of some random dude thinking she was available. I told myself it was nothing, just girl talk fodder. A week later, she brought it up again. This time Megan had apparently pitched it to the whole team, said it'd be adorable if my wife met this guy named Ethan, because their vibes matched. She was giggling, waiting for me to laugh too. But it had been a solid week of the same joke, and it wasn't funny anymore. I said, "Kinda weird to keep joking about setting up a married woman, no?" She just shrugged. It's harmless. That word, harmless, stuck in my head like a splinter. A few nights later, we're chilling on the couch watching TV, and out of the blue she goes, "Megan brought up that guy again today." She's like, "What's the harm in one little coffee? Just one evening." That one hit different. I paused the show, looked her dead in the eye, and asked, "And what did you tell her?" She got quiet, real quiet, for a solid half-minute, then said, "Honestly, I was kind of thinking, what's the big deal with grabbing a quick coffee?" I just stared. She gave this nervous little laugh, like she was floating a trial balloon. "It's literally just coffee. I'm not going to do anything." I lost it. "It's a date, Sarah. You're meeting some dude one-on-one. That's not just coffee. That's a date. And that's the problem." My voice was louder than I meant, but the anger was instant, like molten lava. It wasn't yelling anger. It was that deep, quiet rage when someone pretends a boundary everyone knows exists suddenly doesn't. She backpedaled fast. "Whoa, calm down. I'm not saying I'm going. I was just thinking out loud. You're totally overreacting. I'm not interested in anyone else. I'd never hurt you or break our vows." She grabbed my hand, squeezed it, swore up and down she was loyal. I wanted so badly to believe her. I nodded, took a breath, and we went back to the show, except neither of us was watching. 15 minutes later, she asked, "So, what do you think?" I thought she was still on the coffee thing, so I snapped, "About what?" She rolled her eyes, muttered, "Never mind," and stormed off to the bedroom. I followed, demanding answers. She sighed dramatically. "I was talking about dinner plans, but you're obviously still obsessed with that coffee thing. I shouldn't even tell you anything anymore. You just twist it." Suddenly, I was the bad guy for having feelings. She played the victim card. So, well, I actually started second-guessing myself. By the time we went out to eat that night, I was the one saying sorry. She kissed my cheek, smiled, and said, "See? We're good." I thought it was over. It wasn't. Fast forward to Friday night. She said she was going out with coworkers for dinner. Normal stuff. She does it every few months. I told her to have fun. But she got extra dressed up, full makeup, favorite perfume, that little black leather jacket she usually saves for date nights with me. I still didn't want to be paranoid. At 8:30 I texted, "You having a good time?" No answer. An hour later, "Heading home soon?" 30 minutes after that she finally replied, "Sorry, got caught up chatting. Leaving soon." Short, cold, no emojis, nothing like her usual texts. My stomach dropped. She rolled in around midnight, smelling faintly of some cologne I didn't recognize. Not strong, but enough. I pretended to be asleep. Next morning, she was in the shower and her smartwatch buzzed on the nightstand. I glanced at the screen. Had an amazing time getting to know you last night. Let's do it again soon. Smiley face from Ethan. Everything clicked. She walked out in a towel, smiling, leaning in for a kiss. I pulled away and asked, calm as ice, "You went on that date last night, didn't you?" She froze. I held up the watch. "He had an amazing time getting to know you." The color drained from her face. She started rambling, too fast, too defensive. It wasn't like that. Megan and the girls thought it'd be funny to actually make it happen. They basically forced me. I didn't even want to go. I asked, "Did you tell them you're married?" The pause said everything. I nodded slowly. "Pack a bag and get out." She lost it, crying, begging, insisting it was just dinner, that nothing happened, that I was blowing it out of proportion. I stayed calm and repeated, "You got dressed up, you lied. You went on a date with another man. You don't get to defend that." She kept saying it was curiosity, that she just wanted to feel wanted by someone new for a minute. I told her, "Congrats. You found out what happens when you test the waters." She grabbed my hands, sobbing that it meant nothing, that she made a terrible mistake. I started packing her suitcase for her. She wailed, "Where am I supposed to go?" I said, "Call Megan." She thought this was hilarious. When she realized I wasn't budging, she switched tactics. "You can't kick me out of our house. I'll call the cop." I looked her dead in the eye, grabbed a second suitcase, and started packing my own stuff, clothes, laptop, important papers. She just stood there watching, stunned. I dragged my bag to the car, realized I forgot my charger, walked back in. She was on the phone crying to someone, probably Megan, saw me and hung up mid-sentence. I unplugged the charger and left without a word. Checked into a hotel, went to work the next day on autopilot, and spent the whole time researching divorce lawyers. She blew up my phone. "Can we please talk?" I didn't mean to hurt you. It was so stupid, I realize that now. Long paragraphs about how sorry she was and how she'd do anything to fix it. I never replied. A buddy told me to slow down. Divorce is hard, and technically there was no proof of physical cheating. I've been sitting with that question ever since. Am I really the crazy one here? Is this betrayal or am I overreacting? Lawyer meeting is this week, so I'm posting this to get some outside perspective. Reaction. You're not overreacting, even a little. Walking out and getting yourself space was the healthiest thing you could have done. Yeah, it hurts like hell, but this isn't about just coffee. It's about respect. She knew exactly what she was doing, dressed up for it, lied about it, and let another man believe he had a chance with her. That's more than enough. Update 1. Update for everyone who had my back last time. Here's what happened next. Met with the lawyer, laid out the whole story. He asked if I had hard proof of cheating. I only had the watch message. He was straight with me. No evidence, it's he said, she said. Best to settle privately. Faster, cleaner, cheaper. I agreed. He drafted the papers, and yeah, I had them sent to her office. Petty? Maybe. But I wanted her to feel the weight of her choices in front of the same coworkers who thought this was a cute game. 2 days later, my phone exploded. Calls, texts, voicemails. I didn't block her. Lawyer said keep the line open. First text, you seriously sent divorce papers to my work? Then, please, we need to talk just once. I waited a day, then agreed to meet, but only on my terms. Public place, recorded conversation, no emotional spiral. I picked a cafe and told her 4 p.m. She showed up early, looking nervous. The second I pulled out my phone and started recording, she flipped. Why are you recording us? I calmly said, lawyer's orders. Let's keep this clear. She couldn't believe I was treating her like a business transaction. She launched into the same story. It really was just coffee. He thought I was single. I didn't encourage anything. I cut through the noise. You lied to my face and let another man think he had a shot with you. That's cheating enough for me. She got mad. So one coffee ends our entire marriage. I said, we're done talking in circles. I want the divorce. That's when her tone flipped from pleading to ice cold. Fine. But this isn't going to be cheap. I put 5 years into this marriage, and you earn more. I deserve something. There it was, her real plan. I stood up, paid for my coffee, and said, my lawyer will handle the rest. She hissed, you're gonna regret screwing me over. That night I couldn't sleep. The way she switched from I didn't cheat to pay me so fast felt off. So I did some digging, found Ethan on social media, figured out where he worked, and the next morning I waited in his office parking garage. He pulled in around 8:30. I walked right up, grabbed him by the shirt, slammed him against a pillar, and asked, how's it feel dating a married woman? He went pale. Bro, I didn't know she was married. I pressed, tell me what really happened. He panicked and blurted, look, we got carried away, okay? We used protection. It was a mistake. Security was already coming. I let go and bolted. Now I had the truth. Told my lawyer. He was pissed I confronted the guy. Told me to stay far away from both of them from now on. That same night she texted again. Can we meet? I have something to tell you. I ignored it. Lawyer told her team any further contact goes through them. A couple weeks later, we had court-ordered mediation. She asked for 5 minutes alone first. The second the door closed, she started, I know you talked to Ethan. I said, yeah, and he told me you used protection. She looked at the floor, then launched into this ridiculous story about how they were just talking about pets. He invited her to see his cats, because of course she loves cats. One thing led to another, and it just happened. She swore it wasn't planned, that she felt sick the second it was over and left. I laughed, dry, empty laugh. You swear a lot. Which version am I supposed to believe this time? She broke down, begging for therapy, swearing she'd change, that she'd spend the rest of her life proving it. I told her she already proved exactly what she's capable of. We went back in with the lawyers. Mediator asked if reconciliation was possible. She looked at me with tears and said, no. I broke his trust. Sounded noble, but whatever. Because she was drowning in guilt that day, my lawyer pushed hard and got her to sign a clean settlement, no alimony, 50-50 on joint savings. Final decree isn't official yet, but the deal is done. This will be my last update. I just want to close this chapter and move forward. Thank you all for having my back. Final reaction. Just coffee. Sure. January sending the papers to her job. Absolute legend move. Confronting Ethan in the parking garage. Ice cold justice. The dude thought he was a side character in her little fantasy and suddenly came face to face with reality. So tell me in the comments, if your partner went on a secret just coffee date with someone who thought they were single, would you call that cheating? That's it for today, fam. If you enjoyed this wild ride, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and ring the bell so you never miss the next one. See you in the next video. Rock it.